I've come up with this methodology and I call it the C5 methodology. So the first thing I say we need before anything else is we need to get clarity. So how do we get clarity? How do we control the conversation? By asking great questions. So I say
Mhm.
to my team, I say to my mentees, I say to people I work with, the quality of your work, the quality of the outcome, the quality of the results you're going to get will come down to the quality of the questions you ask yourself and you ask of whoever your stakeholders are. And so that's the first thing is asking the right questions to get the clarity. If we try and do something without getting the clarity, it's like trying to put a square peg into a round hole. You're just trying to shove something through. You haven't really understood the dynamics, what are you trying to
Mhm.
achieve and why you need to do it. So for me, number one thing is we need to get clarity. Now, once you have that clarity, two things happen. First, you have confidence in yourself because you've understood the problem, you've understood the situation, you've understood the brief, you understand what you're trying to achieve. But the people you're working with, they will also have confidence in you because they're like, yes, this guy gets it, or this girl gets it. Like, they know what we're trying to solve. They understand us, they understand our culture, they understand our business, they understand our resources, they understand our limitation, they understand where we're trying to go with this. And so suddenly you've got clarity, you've got confidence yourself and confidence in you, which means because you are a world class professional, you can now propose credible solutions that actually solve the business challenge that you're there to solve to begin with, rather than trying to do some tick box exercise or a consultancy approach, like given templates or frameworks that I've worked with other people. But how you can create bespoke, credible solutions for the company in a way where you've got buy-in from the stakeholders because they know that you're trying to help them solve their problems. You haven't used all of these big legalese. You're talking to them in a language that makes sense and using examples that are in their world that make sense to them. So credible solutions come from that. And I say to get that credibility, we need to go and meet the business where they are. We need to sit on the same side of the table as them and look in the same direction they're looking in and try and talk about things in a way that makes sense to them from their point of view. The challenge I found when I used to take the opposite approach, or what some of my mentees who are lawyers come in with the approach is, they talk from a legal point of view. And this is what the law says you must do. This is what you need to do. And these are the requirements. And we can do this and we can't do that. Sometimes the business will respect that. Other times they just won't care, especially if they're not clear what the steps they need to take. What is the
Mhm.
simple, logical, easy step that they need to take? If they don't get that, they're just going to ignore your advice. They'll say, yes, yes, yes. But when you turn around and you go back, you see they're doing the same thing they've been doing anyway. Or they're doing something crazy. And you ask them, why are you doing this crazy thing? Ah, that's what I thought you don't wanted us to do. So
Isn't
clarity, confidence, credibility. If you can achieve those three things, then you'll get compliance. But you have to be someone who is competent. How do you become someone who's competent? You need to complement the soft skills as well as the technical skills and knowledge. So, what are the soft skills? Communication, emotional intelligence, how to manage stakeholders, how to persuade and influence and lead, how to build rapport and establish those relationships, how to manage an actual program, right? These are core skills that I think we need to offer competence in privacy or top tier privacy roles anyway. And finally, you need to get to know who your community is because you can't do privacy alone. And if you try and do it alone in isolation, then it's not going to go very far and it's not going to be as impactful as you want it to be. So get to know who is the community. And it could be starting off with your team, then your wider stakeholders, then it could be your actual customers and your users. And then it could be some focus groups or other groups or other communities that are part of the wider community. So identify your primary, secondary, tertiary communities and beyond. And once you understand the bigger picture, then you can make much better decisions. You can help people to see the bigger picture and you can shift their perspective and create some amazing things. And remembering it all comes down to the basic human rights. That's what we're here to do. We're trying to protect and empower people through their basic human rights. And when you take that kind of approach and when you teach that kind of approach, suddenly people find there is a lot more fulfillment in their work. Suddenly it's a lot more exciting, it's a lot more engaging. And hey, it's not just about article this and article that of the GDPR or whichever framework. It's about how do we actually go and do things with people that work for the people that we're trying to serve.